In other developing news, the CEO of the Road Accident Fund, Letsoalo, says he is unfazed by allegations of corruption and mismanagement against him. Now, a preliminary report by the Special Investigating Unit has implicated Letsoalo in alleged wrongdoing involving a 79 million rand lease deal for the fund's Johannesburg offices. The probe follows a whistleblower's complaint to the public protector, accusing him of overturning a bid committee decision in favor of Moana Properties. Letsoalo's term in office comes to an end in August. Let's touch base with our business reporter, Ntokozo Khumalo, who was at that briefing just earlier today. Ntokozo, it's quite the allegation, isn't it, involving tens of millions of rand. Letsoalo has, for a while now, emphasized his innocence. What does he use to back that up?
Good afternoon, Michelle. Well, quite the scathing briefing that we got that was chaired by the CEO, and it took about an hour really to work through all the documents. We got a thick file of documents that really shows the procedures that the Road Accident Fund follows in these issues. And the point of that really, Michelle, was to show that all due processes were followed and that there's nothing that he as a single man can really do to divert those contracts out of the RAF. But he is here with me for a quick discussion on that. Thank you so much for talking to us. You did say you sleep peacefully.
Absolutely.
You are working with the Special Investigative Unit on this issue. There's other issues that, you know, from that leaked or from that report by the Sunday Times that were also alluded to. But if you can talk us through the 79 million rand lease deal. What took place there? Just help our viewers understand exactly what happened and what process the RAF did follow.
Yeah, we arrived at the RAF in 2019 in September. This thing is brought to my office. They are trying to go into another building. They had tried since 2013. It had failed more than 6 times. We are having an OHS, which is Occupational Health and Safety problem in the building that we had, which is Marble Towers. In that building, there were also an infestation of lawyers. Lawyers were all over us. I mean, they were below and above the floors that were occupied by the Road Accident Fund. So this thing comes in front of me because we went for a special general meeting of the staff and they complained about it. But I mean, I went and I saw this for myself. So when it comes in front of us, we have got discrepancies about the indications of what the scorings were. When the people were asked, they then withdrew the submission. So there's nothing like overruled. When we asked questions, they could not answer, so they withdrew it. Ultimately, this thing collapsed. When it collapsed, we had to get people out of the building. We then approached 3 state entities, Transnet, PRASA, Public Investment Corporation. PRASA said, please assist us with renovating our building. We said we don't have the money. Transnet did not have a suitable building. PIC, which manages the assets of the GPF, which is Government Employee Pension Fund, then said we have got 3 buildings through Moana Properties. So Moana Properties is a property manager of PIC. They manage the properties that are owned by GPF and managed by PIC. So that's what we did. We then went to them. There was a criteria. I've given you guys the criteria at length. It was done, 3 properties. One of them is the property that was then ultimately recommended. We then went to the National Treasury. We showed them the process that was followed, and we ended up in that building. So that's the reality. Costs, lower, everything else done in terms of the law. It went through audit, passed the audit.
And now you remain adamant throughout that briefing that you do not know this Moana Properties because the due process was followed, and actually insisting that the reports or the journalists should have gone to the PIC to investigate from that point. You're sticking clear to that point that these people are not people that are your friends or your cousins, but a due process was followed.
Exactly. They omit that part. They omit the GPF. They omit the PIC. It's there in the lease. The lease agreement is very clear. They represent the landlord. The landlord is GPF and through the PIC. So it's very clear. So they want to create an impression that I just took this thing to my friends. What nonsense is that? I mean, for me, I've said it before. The last press conference, I told you they're coming for me. I'm ready for them.
And of course, preliminary report from the SIU, so still a lot of digging that's going to happen. What needs to happen, sir, to really see the Road Accident Fund serve the people of South Africa?
Well, we are ready to work with the SIU. We've been working with the SIU. By the way, I've told you, we are the ones that asked for them to come here because there were other issues that we needed to address. But I mean, we are not beyond. They must scrutinize as well as what we did. There's no problem with that. We will work with the SIU. We'll continue to give them what they need. As I said at the press conference that they want our bank accounts, we'll give them. There's no issue. We're not worried about that. So you can accuse us of anything, this management. You can accuse us of corruption very clearly. So people are unhappy, but they must continue to be unhappy. We are going to do our work without any fear or fail.
Well, thank you so much for your time and talking to us. Of course, Michelle, the CEO, remaining adamant, nothing to hide at the Road Accident Fund. As I said, we've got a whole pile of documents to work through and read through to really help us understand how that 79 million rand lease tender was then diverted to another property company. Some of the issues there that he did outline, Michelle. So we will be following the story and, of course, the investigation by the Special Investigative Unit. But that's where we leave it for now, Michelle.
Ntokozo Khumalo, thanks very much indeed.